This video I'll be reviewing for your first algebra quiz. There's 4 topics, the first one being substitution. The next one will be one-step equations with adding and subtracting. Then we'll have one-step equations with multiplying or dividing. And then finally we'll have two-step equations that will have addition or subtraction and multiplication or division. A lot of our lessons, most of our lessons, I'll be teaching and I'll make videos of them and put them on YouTube so that you can reference them. And ultimately you'd like to watch these videos at home the night before you come to class. They're usually about 5 to 10 minutes in length, and you can take notes on them at home. You can watch them several times if you need to, or you can watch them once. Whatever you want to do at home so that you're prepared when you come to class, and we can spend the majority of our time in class working either one-on-one with me or working with classmates that are working on the same thing, and we'll be able to get a lot more work done that way. The videos will also be available here at school, so if you don't have a chance to watch them at home, they will be available here, but it's recommended that if you can, use the resource that I'm creating to watch these at home so that when you come to class, you can just focus on actually practicing these concepts. Okay, this is a substitution problem. If you notice, I've given you values for A, B, and C, and then you have an algebraic expression that we're going to actually substitute these values and for the variables and then solve for our answer. So in this case we have AB over C plus B. This means A times B divided by C, and then we're going to add B. So the first thing you should do is just go right to A and substitute in a 5 for A. Now A is being multiplied to B, so we're going to substitute in a 4 for B. We want to make sure we multiply it. I like to put them in parentheses. You can use another multiplication symbol if you'd like. Then we're going to divide. Remember, fractions are division problems. We're going to divide by C. C is 2. And finally we're adding B. So we come back and B is 4. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply 5 times 4. We get 20. Next we'll divide by 2, so we have 20 divided by 2, which is 10, plus 4 is 14. Our second example is a one-step equation. In this case we have m minus 5 equals 27. Now what we want to see is we want to see where our variable is first. So we're going to identify the variable. It's on the left side of the equation. Now our goal is to isolate that variable. And remember, to isolate something means to get it alone, put it by itself. So if we want the m to be isolated on the left side of the variable, we need to do away with this minus 5. So we do something called the inverse operation. So the inverse operation, or the opposite operation of subtraction, is addition. So we're going to add 5 to this side. Now anytime you add the opposite number to itself, it will become 0, it'll go away. So if we add 5 to the left side, we need to do the exact same thing to the right side of the equation to keep it equal. So we add 5 there. Now these two cancel out. Minus 5 plus 5 is 0. We're left with m equals 27 plus 5, which is 32. Okay, our third example and our fourth example are both one-step equations. The third example reads 4n equals 18. That means 4 times n equals 18. The 4 is being multiplied to the variable. Now the inverse operation of multiplying is to divide. So we're going to divide by this coefficient. A coefficient is a number that's with a variable. The prefix co means together. So the number together with the variable is the coefficient. So we're going to actually divide by 4 on both sides of the equation. Now 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we're going to cancel that out. We have 1n equals 18 divided by 4, which is 4 and 2/4, or 4 and 1/2. Our next example is x over 5, or x fifths, equals 7. Now this fraction and all fractions are division problems. This means x divided by 5. We read from the top going down. X divided by 5. The inverse operation of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. So if we multiply both sides by this denominator, we get 5 times x divided by 5. These cancel out. So we're left with x equals 7 times 5, which is 35. Our final two examples are both two-step equations. A two-step equation has two different operations we're going to do before we can solve for the variable. Now notice we have 3 times m plus 4 equals 31. That means we have a number being multiplied to our variable and a number being added to our variable. In order to solve this, we have to do it in a certain order. We're going to look for the number that's being either added or subtracted to our variable. In this case, 4 it's being added to m. And we're going to eliminate that number. We're going to do the inverse operation to this addition problem. So the inverse operation of adding 4 is subtracting 4. So we subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. Positive 4 and negative 4 cancel. Then we have 3m equals 31 minus 4, which is 27. And now the second step of this two-step equation is to eliminate the coefficient of m. We want the coefficient to be 1. We don't want it to be 3. So we're going to divide both sides by this number that's being multiplied to the variable. So we divide by the coefficient 3 on both sides of the equation. We're left with m equals 27 divided by 3 is 9. Our final example is n plus 2 divided by 3 equals 8. Now, when we have an equation that has a fraction on one side of the equation, meaning the whole entire side of the equation is a fraction, the first thing you want to do is try to eliminate your denominator. So let's see, we have n plus 2 being divided by 3. We can eliminate things by doing the inverse operation. So the inverse of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. This cancels the 3's out. We're left with n plus 2 equals 8 times 3, which is 24. And finally, the last step, we have n plus 2. The inverse operation of adding 2 is subtracting 2. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. Then we have n equals 24 minus 2, which is 22.